Hey everyone, we're super excited about this episode with Tobi, serial entrepreneur, done a whole heap of stuff, learned a whole heap of things during his life. Plenty of value in this one, so enjoy. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Business, Wine and Cheese.
Business, wine and water.
Business, wine, cheese and water.
It was water. Is it still water if it's on the floor?
That's all right.
We have Tobi from Creative Cubes, Neon Life, lots of different things, serial entrepreneur. Now starting to become a friend of ours as well. We've known each other for a couple of years now. Yeah. Welcome, mate.
Thanks for having me.
We don't usually choose water, but let's do it.
Hey, first time for everything.
Thanks. So, actually, this is Claire Smith from Vino Mofo gave us this.
Oh, nice.
She was on our last episode. We actually had to film it twice because the first one, I'm hoping this doesn't happen today, it wouldn't load.
Right.
So
so she had to come back.
Yeah. Which means we got 2 bottles.
That's all right.
So it worked out for everyone.
I'm not sure she inconveniently had to come back.
No. She was happy with it. We're good. So tell me, man. So we usually start off with origin story.
Yep.
Go as far back as you want to, give some context. Going from wherever it goes from there.
Yeah. So born in 1980.
Nice.
So 39 years ago. And which I thought was actually a really cool year because in 1999 I was 19. In 2000 I was 20.
That's
2001 I was 21. And now in 2019 I'm 39. It's kind of
it worked for me in high school because 97 I was in year 7.
Yeah.
Or I only had 6 years of it.
So
I digress.
No, totally fine. Born in Sydney. Yep. At the age of 14, my dad got sick and passed when I was 16. My dad was a raging entrepreneur.
Right.
He dropped out of school, I think 9th or 10th grade. Said, fuck this, I'm going to do it myself.
Yep.
Went on to build a phenomenal business in the automotive industry. Still, my dad's been gone 25 years and some of the tech that he built back then is still advanced for the market today.
Wow.
So that's just like, he was like 300 years ahead of it. But,
legacy, man.
Yeah. And so, unfortunately, I didn't get to spend a lot of time with him because sort of like, I guess, age 12 to 14, you're a bit adolescent, you're confused, you know what's going on.
Yep.
Parents are embarrassing you.
Yeah.
And then at 16, he passed. And so, I knew him and we had an amazing relationship, but not to the level that I know my kids right now.
Yeah.
And so, I guess from a very young age, I was always very entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
Never, hey, I'm going to start a business. Hey, I'm going to sell stamps or football cards or whatever the product of choice was at those days. But I distinctly remember in our family home, my mum kind of built this, we call it the art gallery, but like, let's not get carried away.
Yeah.
It was photos of when we were young all the way up to current age in frames that may or may not have matched.
Okay.
Depending on what was available at the time.
Yeah. That's nice.
And it was nice, like very sentimental, but not very pretty.
Yeah.
And with his face on the wall 500 times, definitely not very pretty. But one thing that stood out on reflection was when my dad turned 40, he passed when he was 44, and we'll maybe talk about that later, but when he was 40, my mum made a birthday cake for him. Yeah. And I think it was a time where it wasn't 3D printing by any stretch, but they actually were able to take a photo and almost print it, hand drawn or whatever, on the icing.
Wow.
Yes.
And there was a photo of my dad in his overalls, and a speech bubble that said, "I did it my way."
Wow.
And so that was actually on the wall from my bedroom to the bathroom, which I frequented a lot at that age. Was on the wall. And so I think, subliminally or subconsciously,
I think so.
It just like oozed into me. And my coming out party was when my wife, my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, said, Tobes, I bought her a dog. We lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. She said, we just need a patch of backyard on our balcony. And I swear to you not, it was kind of like the light went on and I'd already run 10 years in 30 seconds. I knew exactly what to do, how to do it, what I needed to do, and all the rest of it. And for the next 10 years, 03 to 13, I basically walked around that path and built a global business under the brand Pet Lou, which everyone laughed at the time. But the peak of the global financial crisis, dogs are still shitting.
Yeah.
So I'm still in business.
Yeah.
It was a dog toilet for people that didn't have backyards.
People go to that sort of stuff when in crisis.
People go to serve their pets more than themselves in the downtime, right?
Yeah.
So I built a great business that scaled globally.
It's awesome.
Built it from my spare bedroom to 160 odd countries of distribution, 0 to 8 figures in revenue, debt-free, cash flow positive, 100% owned. It was a nightmare of a journey in terms of like scrapping month in, month out. I read your post the other day about this year's Christmas party. Totally resonated with me. How for so long I scrapped. And then in 2013, my company got bought, and all of a sudden my bank account had a lot of money in it. Which was like, holy shit, we've done something special here. So
it's amazing that like subliminally you're like seeing this message every single day. And it kind of helped you in an indirect kind of way as you got older.
Well, you're almost like, I believe, and people can challenge this, and I welcome that challenge. You're a product of your family.
100%.
You're a product of your environment.
I tell you 100%. Like Theo knows this, and also Theo, like mother's a musician. He played with his band every single day. Sometimes 3-4 times a week, at night, late to 3 o'clock in the morning. I didn't pick up an instrument till I was like 17, 19, but it was so easy for me to pick up that instrument because I would hear it every single day.
On the ear, right?
And even now when we write music together, and I remember this special time I said, look, Dad, we did an album on a show, I put him in the car and listened to it, he goes, that sounds really nice, he goes. And I started to realize that the melodies that I was hearing in the car were actually his melodies from his progressions and things.
Amazing.
It's an influence,
I believe everything's related and everything is cyclic, right? So stuff that I'm doing today, Sim will be like, yeah, okay, can you like shut up and like pay attention to the kids, or shut up and can you help me with bath time or this and that? Like, she's not interested at all in business. She loves the family version of Tobi. So I go to my mom to tell her the story because she'll listen. Not that Sim won't, but Sim's like it's in one and out the other. My mom's like laughing her head off. I'm like, what's so funny? She's like, I heard this story only 40 years ago. Right? And so
that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. But it's
how funny would it be for her?
Yeah. Well, depends.
Yeah.
I think it's very comforting.
Yeah.
And even today, like I got two little girls. Madison is definitely entrepreneurial, definitely courageous. Harper's still a little too young, but Maddie knows what's up. Maddie knows what she wants to do, how to do it, how to get it done. She's got leadership qualities in her, and she's 7. It's like, I look at Sim, where did this come from? She's like, it's total genetics, right? So it comes back to, I know you haven't asked the question, but some of the questions that Omar and I have debated many times are entrepreneurs born or raised, and are musicians born and raised? Like I think there's something deep within, and it's that external influence that triggers you, and away you go.
The best analogy I've heard, and it's probably it is the best analogy, even though I'm very biased towards Gary Vee, but the analogy is you can practice and shoot 1,000 shots every day, right? And you can become better. But LeBron's got DNA. MJ's got DNA. That's the difference, right? You can get better, you can get good at it.
Sure.
But if you want to be great, there's something in there that I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it.
We had Jason Tatum and Kyle Kuzma over for dinner, and I said to them, guys, I'm just like you. The only difference is I'm white, 5'10", and Jewish. You're African American, athletic. But I feel like I'm I feel like I'm a pro athlete trapped in a white Jewish body. But I genuinely feel like I don't think I could take them on the court. Like, yes, I could carry away. But I reckon if the court was repurposed to be the boardroom, like,
let's go.
I'm going 40 every night.
Yeah.
And triple doubles every night.
Yeah.
So
it's a real
amazing.
thing, man.
It's amazing because, like I said, like
Sorry, before I lose that thought, and that's why if we're hiring and you've got sport background, you're probably getting hired.
Yeah.
It's just science.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm probably 90% of the time that's a right decision.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say that it's funny because like you talk about Connor DNA, and I think of my brother. He's got no musical talent whatsoever. The only thing he can do is, yell at some high pitch noise when he's having some fun. That's about it,
Yeah, so
it's so true. It's like, but my younger brother has some sort of talent. Like, funny enough, he doesn't pick it up that much. But the other day I heard him play guitar, playing the piano. I was like, where does this come from? Like, it has to be.
Well, my daughter can sing, and little did I know that Sim, my wife, can sing.
Yeah.
Okay. Sim doesn't have confidence to throw herself up on the stage, whereas like I'll jump out of the airplane and try and work out something before I crash. What I mean? So, like, I feel like Maddie could be a superstar at whatever she wants to do if she acts and carries herself like her mother.
Yeah.
But actually has the tenacity of her father.
Yeah.
Like, she's limitless.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about Creative Cubes, but it's funny because I still remember one of the first photos you posted on your Cubes Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
We were just before we sort of pivoted to a SalesForce partner being the core piece.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing like a BD Maniac. I was a BD Maniac online and sort of just searching different hashtags and filters and stuff, and I found you guys.
Okay.
And I don't know if you remember, but I hit you guys up on your Instagram and said, this is what you do. This is what we do. Your building looks like it's getting built, but it's still pretty rare. Can we come in and talk about this? And you were like, no, we're good, but come and talk anyway.
Sure.
And the first thing I saw was that bloody Jordan room.
And
from them, we just clicked.
Yeah.
So that's interesting because my version of the story is you showed up at Pitch for a Spot, and all I remember is your Jordans.
Yeah. You saying that.
That's all I remember. And then I was like, I like this dude.
Yeah.
Anything I can do to help. So I hope that like the interaction happened post and not pre.
Yeah.
But I don't remember.
No. You hit me up saying you guys were doing that.
Right.
And that's how we even found out about it.
Cool.
But yeah, so tell us, Creative Cubes, you're at almost 3 venues now. We were just talking about the amount that are on the way.
Yep.
How to come about. Obviously, you spend a lot of time in co-working spaces in LA.
Yep.
Tell me the story.
Really, you hear a lot from entrepreneurs that are on a scale are like not even on the planet that I'm on. I'm somewhere down there and they're way up there, like Elon Musk and these types of guys. When they hit it, they always like to turn back and give back, right? And do certain things. They don't do it necessarily for the love of giving back or the philanthropic of giving back, but they always give back in some description. I was fortunate enough to stay the course, stay in the eye of the storm for 10 years and come out the other end with some victory. I think it's relative victory. As much success as I have had statistically, I still feel like I'm on first base. But the first 2 ventures that I was involved in, one was Petloo, the other one was a dog walking business, which was inspired by Uber. We were an online marketplace, a mobile marketplace for dog pet services. We started with dog walking. We were going to venture in, end up being acquired by a company out of Seattle called WAG. Those 2 ventures were all about the destination, and I hated every single day, not because of what I was doing, but the fact that I was by myself doing it. And that when I tried to share my not story, but share my day with my wife, it was like it was the last thing we would talk about. Because I knew that she wasn't interested. And so then I would try to talk to my friends, but they're all lawyers, doctors, surgeons, dentists. Not understanding venture. What do you mean you sell dog toilets? How do you even make money from that? Like, I'm a lawyer, I'm a $500 an hour sort of fee. Well, I don't understand that either. So so there was a huge void, huge gap. And sort of where I kind of found myself as an entrepreneur was at the old Google headquarters in Santa Monica, California, where Google had left to go to Venice, and this guy had come in and built this business called Rock, Real Office Centers. And there it was tech land. It was the heart of Silicon Beach,
Yep.
Right.
which at the time had more venture capital going through it than Silicon Valley.
Yep.
But it'll always be the second or third largest tech hub in the United States.
Yep.
And I took a 2-person office in that building, and I came alive as an entrepreneur. Like, I was high every day. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. Don't even drink.
Yeah.
I was high every day, just like being around the right people, doing the right
Just
stuff.
the energy.
And so, I believe that fundamentally helped me go from a good business to a great business.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with product, had nothing to do with service. It
Yeah.
just had everything to do with sort of like tightening the hatch or the bolts in every other division to sort of streamline it and be really efficient. And so when I exited, I was like, I'm coming back to Australia. At that stage, I didn't know where I'd be. But I wanted to other people that felt the way that I feel and operate the way I operate in their garage, in their spare bedroom, on their kitchen table, to sort of feel like they had a place where they could go and belong and be surrounded by the right type of people.
Right.
And so because I didn't have, and I guess I'm a father, you're a father? You're a father?
Yeah.
Yeah. I grew up, when I was growing up, my mom and dad used to say to me, I want to give you what our parents couldn't give. So we did all these amazing things as kids, right? The same thing could be said today. I want to give my kids what I didn't have, and that was really a father, had everything else. And so I'm present. I pick them up, drop them off. I'm there on the weekends. We do some cool stuff together.
Yeah.
But when I take the dad hat off and I put the entrepreneur hat on, I want to give to other entrepreneurs what wasn't there for me.
Yeah.
And so Creative Cubes is basically built off that. The reality is startups and entrepreneurs probably entrepreneurs probably a large majority, but startups make about 3 to 4% of our total customer base or members. We serve about 600 companies today. Most of them are SME, SMB, and large corporate. But it's interesting because those big companies want to be like the little guys, and the little guys want to be the big guys. And they're all together under one roof, operating. But it's a safe place. It's stuff where people get stuff done. Like even looking at Omar, and I say Omar a lot here because
He's been a guest on here. And I introduced you guys.
Exactly, mutual friend. He just opened up a barbershop. His second barbershop as sort of like a side hustle for himself. And he leveraged some marketing guys in our building, in the community. He leveraged photography in the community. Dean and I went. Dean's part of the happiness team. Dean and I went and had haircuts yesterday. There was photos there. So now we're part of his marketing. And it's very homely in that sense.
You've come to an event, or you've been a panelist on one of our events for our charity.
Correct. Well. Yeah, exactly. So, but like leveraging community, I believe that's the new currency.
I think so.
And
Very much think so,
and I want people to feel safe. I'm not here to try and sell more seats and more private offices, but I'll absolutely allow you to come in if you're the right minded and you want to sort of serve, and sort of get shit done. And so we're not transaction focused. We're people first focused.
Yeah, I think that sort of cheesy salesman trying to get as many sales is a thing of the past.
I think so.
I think
not. It is if you and I are already living in the future.
That's right.
But some people still aren't there.
Yeah, and I think that I've come across a lot of people that they just want to build relationships, and work together with somebody else. It doesn't mean always with us, but somebody else.
Sure.
And I
mean, we've got someone literally that we couldn't even really sell anything to each other, but he's taking an office here just because of the energy.
Sure.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I think it's an added value that some people just need sometimes. And I think you have that responsibility in a way to share that energy. And because you were there when no one was helping you. So you should give that sort of bit of a push,
I'm trying to give them what I didn't have.
Exactly.
And hopefully in my environment, they accelerate way beyond what they thought they could do on their own.
Exactly.
That's one of the things that we want to get to once we
get some financial stability, or we exit something, or whatever it might be, get back into music and do that in the same way.
Yeah.
Because there's some people that I could count probably on one hand that really helped us and went out of their way, like Jack and a couple other people in sort of the mastering and mixing space. But it was hard, man. Like, they got their own shit on as well,
Yeah.
And especially when it's like we're not talking about we can call up Pharrell and we're not, we were hitting up people that were still hustling, but they were the legends in our scene. They're still they're not
totally
made.
resonate.
You know what I mean?
Totally resonate.
Yeah.
So we were talking about, you just hit culture a little bit. We
Yeah.
were talking about culture before we started filming
Yeah.
internally in our businesses.
Yep.
It's the same thing, I'd imagine, though, when you're building these types of co-working spaces. How do you, and we were even talking about scaling the unscalable from a cultural
Totally.
aspect. How do you guys see that happening in theory as you start to
Yeah,
sort of-
so I'm not trying to scale for the sake of scale.
Yeah.
I'm trying to scale to have and help and have influence on other people's businesses and trying to help them get to where they need to
Because
get.
you guys are still private money. There's no venture, is there?
No, we've done a small round
Okay.
of venture. But
But it's not a clamps situation.
no.
There are numbers you got to hit, right? But still.
No, so full disclosure, about a year and a half ago, we did our Series A, which we just didn't feel a need to announce to the world.
Yep.
I'm not about the transaction, but Jeff Harris, who is the co-founder of Flight Center, his son Brad sits on our board, and I have Jeff on tap, which he still owns a 15% stake in Flight Center today. So the Harris family joined us about a year and a half ago, and it's completely been under the radar because I don't think it's about raising money. It's about getting the right people on the bus to execute the vision, right?
Yeah.
My point is, though, it's not like big N VC that are like, you don't need these numbers.
No, that's not what we're
And
about.
that reflects the way you even went. So, I mean, but you guys are now a customer of ours,
Sure.
right? We don't really have that many of our customers on here. It's more people we get along with.
Yep.
Not that we don't like our customers. But I really dig myself a hole here. My point is,
Cheers.
my point is that, the way you guys operate, and we've now been able to see that side
Sure.
of it, that I can attest to what you're saying is legit and you're not full of shit.
No. Quite the opposite. We probably lose more opportunities
Yeah,
because
we're the same.
we're not about the transaction,
Yeah.
right? I'm about the people first.
We walked away from a deal today because of that.
Yeah, I don't think. I think people need to look into a little bit more than just a transaction.
Well,
Because they'll get more value out of it.
It's easy to say though, like, but you got to remember we used to be like, I think I've made a joke on this show before, like we were solely an IT company, but we were doing decks for startups that needed money, like because we could design our new business strategy, and I've dealt with raising money before.
Sure.
But as soon as the unlock was, the second you had that feeling of, I could walk away from this deal.
Yeah.
And as soon as you do, on the first one, you leave money on the table and you get that feeling.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That changes shit.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
So
God.
dialing it back like half a beat, we raised money.
Yeah.
Before that, we were all founders, like digging into our own pockets.
Yeah.
And that was cool, and an experience. And then a lot of money came at us. And what I mean by that is loads of VCs were like, hey, we want to get involved. So we had those conversations and none of them felt right. What we ended up with Jeff was we were able to get enough money to scale, yet it was not about the money. It was about the experience, the knowledge, the support, everything but the money. The money was sort of like, oh, okay, and we have to transact.
it's a result of it.
Yeah. Whereas everyone else that came up was like, oh, we can give you 20, 30, 40, 50 million dollars, no problem. But
this
then
is what
like,
happens.
and then I'm working for somebody else
Yeah.
and I'm not delivering on our promise,
Yeah.
which is I want the power. I'm not going to make no qualms about that.
Yeah.
But I don't want it for me.
Yeah.
I want it to be able to protect
It's a positive dictatorship.
and serve
Yeah.
the people.
Yeah.
And so when
Back
it
to
comes
the culture piece.
when it comes back to culture, like, we have the systems, like we're working with you guys on SalesForce. We have the systems, we have the process, we have we have the money, we have everything to be able to scale.
Yeah.
The one thing that is the biggest challenge is people and culture.
Yeah.
So scaling the unscalable. My favorite biblical story is David and Goliath.
Right.
And I think scaling the unscalable is something that I want to turn on its head.
Yeah.
And so how we're focusing at Cubes is, firstly, we have incredible talent.
Yeah.
Shade Mezeo has joined us. She was formerly at the Bellagio Hotel in Las Vegas, working VIP concierge. She's found her rhythm in this organization.
Yeah.
And when it comes to people and culture, she's the CEO, right?
Yeah.
And we're completely led by her
Yeah.
to the point where I'm doing stuff in my day-to-day because she says I need to do X, Y, Z.
Exactly.
And how we're trying to scale the unscalable is I'm hyper-focused on every single person within our organization.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that they have a direct link to me,
Yeah.
direct track of communication. They may not be my direct report.
Yeah.
And on top of it, I don't feel like I'm the CEO sitting in the ivory tower. I
Yeah.
actually feel like I'm the CEO sitting in the mud pile
Yeah.
so that my people don't get dirty.
Yeah.
And I'll kind of help them up
Yeah.
as opposed to
I think it's
trying to
really
drag 'em up.
important that you, and we've spoken about this plenty of times, like I have no interest in having an office separated from my team. Like absolutely no one. Because I want to be part of their everyday life.
Yep.
Because I consider that work is like your second family.
Mhm.
So you should treat it like your family.
Sure.
You're going to have headbutts.
Yep.
You're going to have emotional times. You're going to have happy times. You know, all that I think needs to be nurtured.
Totally.
And with each and every one of your employees, you know, I understand. And I'm going to say this word because we drink out so much of it, like empathy. You know,
Empathy wines.
it's funny. I hear it so much, and I'm like, you know what? It is actually that. You just have to just find a common ground with your employees, your staff members.
But that's the game,
Yeah.
right? So for us, you know, people are like, oh, what are your competitors doing? I wouldn't have a fucking clue.
Yeah.
Me neither, man.
Because
It's my favorite thing to say
my,
as well.
my competitors aren't in my business.
Right.
They're
Exactly.
a distraction. You know what my competitor
They
is?
can't influence it.
Well, this is my competitor. I'm standing on the free throw line. The game is tied at 99 apiece. Clock is done.
Yeah.
Comes down to 2 free throw shots.
Yeah.
And my competitor's in the background going, hey, idiot, look over here.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do
Yeah.
with what I have to do.
Exactly.
And that's to sink this at least one basket,
Yeah.
right? And then I can potentially get distracted. But I want to sink both and go, game over.
Yeah.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Totally.
Right? So when it comes to people and culture,
Yeah.
I fundamentally, if you've been to our buildings, you'll know they're pretty spectacular.
Yeah.
They've got an edge to them. They've got
Yeah.
this character. But we're actually not about that.
Yeah.
We're about the people in a great space versus
Yeah.
a great space housing people.
Yeah.
So the people are the heartbeat of the space.
Yeah.
The happiness team, what Sade's done there, in terms of them being the heartbeat,
Mm.
they're intuitively in sync with our members. We just get shit done, man.
Mm.
And for that, I think that if we can maintain that culture beat,
Yeah.
right, and that operating rhythm,
Yeah.
I reckon we can scale the unscalable. That's
Yeah.
That's what I'm motivated about.
I think so. Very much think so.
Mm.
I actually see it, and I know I've lived it, and I worked at a few companies before, where you're just a number. You feel it. I've been part of that number,
Sure.
and I'm like, no matter how much I try, I'm still just a number for them.
Yeah. I just think that those days are gone.
Yeah.
I said something on Theo's vlog. Shit, man, I keep saying that. I was on.
The 4 Men podcast that we're doing?
Yeah,
The-
I was
the
on.
video series?
Yeah, Omar's. I keep calling Omar Theo and Theo Omar. I don't want to say this in a very arrogant way. It's going to come across a little bit arrogant, but I feel like the world has
No.
caught up to my values and the way I was brought up.
Yeah.
And now, historically, I feel like very much like an outcast.
Mm-hmm.
Selling dog toilets, being the entrepreneur. Now the rock stars of the world, everyone wants to be.
Well,
I see it in the building. The little guys want to be like the big guys, and the big guys want to be like the little guys.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the world has changed.
Yeah.
And how David knocks off Goliath
Yeah.
is with David's values,
Yeah.
David's way of being.
Yeah.
David doesn't have to beat his chest,
Yeah.
doesn't have to tell everyone how big and great he is. He just goes about his business.
Yeah.
And before you know it,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
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 That's so us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. That's why we get along.
Yeah.
No, that completely makes sense. So,
And it's actually really good to hear other people talk like that.
Yep.
And
It doesn't. It's not there enough. But
no,
there-
it isn't.
But there is a tide. The tide is changing.
The fact
Yeah.
of the matter is, right, with all these movements and the internet exposing everyone, there's not much left to hide anymore.
Correct, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what's changed,
Yeah.
right? People have been able to get away with what they've seen as the path of least resistance, but now enough people are asking the question, what are you going to do for me?
Yep.
They won't get any talent if
No.
they keep being assholes.
yeah,
I love the transparency of the web.
yeah,
I love the transparency of social.
yeah,
I don't like that it's sometimes being used for evil, like
Yeah.
we've seen in US politics. But what I love is that if I've got a problem, I'll share it and it gets amplified online.
yeah,
On the equal, if someone's done good, it doesn't get as much
Yeah.
as much
More negativity
amplification.
and positivity at the
Yeah,
moment.
but at the very least,
it's aware.
yeah,
It's
and so
aware.
I had lunch today with one of our team leads, who runs our Hawthorne building, Chanel, and what I said to her was, my BHAG, my big hairy audacious goal, is actually to change the world.
Yeah.
Right, and she's like, how are you going to do that? And I said, well, we've got 300 people in the building every single day. They all know at least 10 people. So I can have an influence on 3,000 people,
Yeah.
which will then have an influence on another
yeah,
30,000 people,
Yeah.
and it starts to amplify out, right? So if we just stay in our lane,
Yeah.
let people escalate to other levels in
Yeah.
terms of like their arrogance, their hierarchical position.
Yeah.
Let's just stay in our lane, continue to do our thing.
yeah,
Eventually that's going to have influence. She's like, you guys got me. I go, what do you mean? She's like, I've stopped doing this. I've started doing this. I started listening to
Yeah,
podcasts.
yeah.
She's like, and I'm telling my friends.
Yeah.
She's become, indirectly, she's become a
Exactly.
brand evangelist.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's spreading the message. I'm not
Yeah.
asking her to. It's not part of her KPIs.
Yeah.
She's not incentivized to do any of that.
yeah,
It's called
just-
building culture, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
yeah,
So the extension of that is, obviously you guys are building a community. We were talking even on Tuesday night about things you're doing for your community, which we won't say yet, but I'm very excited by that.
Yeah.
yeah.
What advice would you have for anyone that's trying to build a community, whether it be online or in real life?
Yeah, I think a lot of people get caught up in the theoretical side of things. And I always default, maybe it's because I actually don't have a pair on today, but Nike is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Just do it, man.
Mm.
Right? One foot in front of the other.
So true.
And just keep those legs moving. So like, I think about rugby league a lot, not because I'm a fan,
Yeah.
but some guy's about to get tackled and all he's got to do is keep moving those legs,
Yeah.
and he can keep moving that defender,
Forward.
forward or
Yeah.
backwards,
Yeah.
depending which way you're looking at the game.
Yeah.
But keep those legs moving and
Yeah.
don't stop, and expect to get kicked in the nuts every single day.
Every single day.
But
yes.
if it's only 10 kicks today, that's a great day.
I know.
One is better than zero.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just keep executing day in, day out. Like for me, I've got this unbreakable spirit inside of me.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm actually avoiding speaking to my chairman today because he's probably going to lay me out on something.
Yeah.
With love and empathy.
Yeah.
But I'm not foolishly and not blindly, but I'm incredibly optimistic.
Yeah.
And I don't look enough on the negative side, but my organization needs that
I think
because
so.
I have other people playing in the other positions on the
I think
team.
I think that's such a good quality to have, and I don't know what it is. I'm so for that. Like, there's already so much negativity in the world. There's so much negativity happening to other people that I look at you to hear another negative in a situation.
Well, I've got a pair of
whatever.
shoes that says positivity and optimism on them.
Yeah,
all day.
you just have to.
And by the way, when you're in venture, as in startup, entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
Everything's against you.
Mm.
So if you want to concede, you're going out early.
Yep.
If you want to try and stay optimistic and positive, no matter how hard and dark it gets, there's a chance that you'll come through. And the real stat is that like high 90% of startups fail.
Yeah.
And I think they just get swallowed up by that. Whereas you've got to take into consideration market and need and sort of TAM, total addressable size, but optimism.
Yeah. One of the things that I really I loved, when Facebook went from just likes,
Yep.
and you can then do love.
Yep.
I think that day that happened,
Yep.
I haven't used anything more than love or laugh out loud.
Yep.
That's all I use. Those two, you know that.
Yeah, I know.
And by the way,
I gotta love things because you know what? If you're just gonna like it, then might as well don't do anything.
well,
Love it.
Here's another
Have
way.
some passion.
You are
No, I
Antonio's
agree.
Banderas.
Yeah, I know. I have to.
There's-
I have to love it.
Love it. So there's three things I want to address on that. One is if I give anything less than a love, I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
okay,
Surprise, yeah,
right.
yeah.
So I'm not really into it.
Exactly.
I'm faking. The second thing is I've become like a what is it called? A Google Trailblazer or a trail leader, something like that.
Okay.
Where I've done enough reviews on stuff that they actually have like given me little badges.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Okay.
I only either give a 1-star or a 5-star. Anything in between,
You're all
it's
in.
not worth it.
All in.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all
I
it is.
totally agree.
Um,
I either don't give nothing or I'll give you love.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm either I feel guilty. We actually got a 4-star review the other day. Not the other day, a couple months ago. We don't have a lot of 4-star reviews, just for the record. I think we got 7 total and maybe close to 300 5s. And some phantom 1 3-star, which we don't even know who this person is. But that's okay.
Yeah.
And the 4-star like really like got to me because
Commit, man.
this person is actually a
Yeah.
bit of a brand evangelist for who we are and what we do.
Oh, wow.
And so I swung by her desk and I was like, hey, you've motivated me. I want to try to get that extra one. She's like, there's always room for improvement. I was like, and then maybe about a month ago, like this was a few months ago, and then
Right.
maybe a month, or maybe a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, we started talking about Google reviews and we talked about like how important it is, and I've introduced her to some people to help her with her Google positioning, and from a review or Google My Business standpoint, and I shared with her that I was devastated that she gave me a 4-star,
Yeah.
and she's like, I only ever give 4 stars. 4 stars are my
Wow.
5-star. She goes, you guys have to be something off this planet for me to give you a 5. I'm like, yeah, what's your point?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what are you doing, man?
What's your point? Are we not there?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I should go and adjust it. I'm like, please go and adjust it. But most people are either all the way up or all the way down. But her 4 is her 5.
Yeah.
And you have to be like God to get the 5th.
Yeah.
So-
I think it's more often you'll see a 1 than a 5 as well. People will go to review more if they're complaining than if they're happy.
Interesting.
I reckon.
I think
Especially if
it's
you look at product reviews.
I think it's a win. Yeah. Well, I guess we're in product, but we're kind of not in product.
No,
Yeah.
not
We're
really.
in service.
So let's go into lightning round.
Lightning round. All right. Lightning round. So, you ready? You want to take a sip of water?
Born ready.
Let's go. I'll do a jingle that one.
That's the bell.
Okay.
Last round.
One thing you can't live without.
One thing?
Yeah.
Oh, my family.
Beautiful. Favorite band or artist?
I'm not a muso,
Yeah.
but Will Smith, not
Yes.
because of his music,
No.
but just because of his
This is Will Smith.
It's
uplifting.
Will Smith. Yeah. Awesome. Entrepreneur most admire?
Shoo. I think Elon is the man right now.
Yeah, I love Elon.
Yeah, I think I'm desperate to get a Tesla.
I don't know
Just
what it
gotta-
is. I've got a soft spot for him. He's that time he was showing how hard he had it before he actually released.
Yeah, I just love that everyone's throwing daggers and he's
Yeah,
like
nah, he's
Whatever.
landing rockets on the moon.
I know.
like Elon sucks, and
Yeah.
he lands a
Yeah,
rocket.
cool, yeah.
Like, what do you mean he sucks?
I know.
Or like he's like his new vehicle that just came out.
Mate.
I like looked at it and went, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And then like 10 minutes like, I'm in love.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm sold.
Yeah.
I want one.
Yeah, I'm totally getting one.
iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
And on a scale 1 to 10, how good are you at keeping secrets?
Yeah, I'm a Vault.
You're a vault good.
Yeah.
Why, you got some secrets?
Yeah, I've got heaps of secrets. I'm a vault. Ask Hayley. Ask Hayley. She goes, what would you tell me? I goes, gotta keep secrets.
I'll tell you a quick joke. I don't know if this is part of
Yeah,
it.
let's do it.
My friend goes to me on a Friday night dinner. He's like, "Hey, if you woke up, if you went camping and you woke up in the morning and your butt was really sore, would you tell anyone?" And I go, "Probably not." He goes, "Want to go camping?"
That's
No, man, but I'm evolved.
You're
Good.
involved.
Not a camper though.
I need my Tempur-Pedic pillow.
Yeah, me too.
Favorite holiday destination?
Byron Bay.
Byron Bay. Good. Name one of the 7 dwarfs.
Sleepy.
Because you need some sleep right now.
We were talking about that.
Okay.
We talked about subliminal things playing in on you, right?
Yeah, there you go.
What's your middle name?
Don't have one.
Don't have one.
No, that's it. Don't
2
have
guests in
one.
a row.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
No, don't have one.
it's on the list.
Most embarrassing store you've been seen shopping at?
Store. Shit, I don't know. I like looking at all my clothes.
Yeah, I was like, he doesn't get
I go
embarrassed.
to the Apple store. Yesterday, I met my wife at Chadstone.
Yeah.
And I called her. I was like, "Do you want it in black or white?" She's like, "Where are you?" I was like, "I'm at the Tesla shop."
Awesome. Make a high-pitched noise.
That's my favorite one. It has to be like that's so good. That's so awesome.
I swear I was going to do that one. Awesome. That's it.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Very
man.
good,
Thanks for
man.
having me. Yeah.
Thank you. It was
Appreciate it.
fun.
See you
Thanks
in
for
South
tuning in,
Melbourne,
guys.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Cheers.
Thanks, guys.